Hello everyone, welcome to Ops on Cloud. In this specific video, let's try to discuss about workflow runner concept. So far, we have been running all our jobs and workflows in Ubuntu runners, but GitHub Actions will provide different types of workflow runners. And in this specific video, right, let's try to go and dig deeper in this area. So you can simply assume that these runners are there, right, as virtual servers or virtual machines where we execute our jobs through workflows. Okay. In GitHub Actions, you can either use GitHub hosted runners or you can also use your own self-hosted runners as well. When I say GitHub hosted runners, it simply means that whatever the underlying infra is there, right? The management of this specific VMs, everything is being taken care by GitHub, including the security patches, all these things. Here we have operating systems like Windows, Ubuntu, and Mac options are there. Okay, but at base level, GitHub will provide you a maximum timeout of 6 hours per job. And also you have a disk space of 14 GB and memory of 7 GB and the CPU of 2 cores or something. Okay, so you can, I mean, like you can also go to the official GitHub documentation and you can check basically like for enterprise level, what are the, I mean, what is the amount of GitHub hosted runner capabilities they have. You can simply go and check it out there. Okay, but in general, for us, when we practice, we might get this is the amount of resources we will be getting. All right, and also we, as I already mentioned, right, we don't have to take care of anything with respect to management, so that is a major benefit. Okay, and the most important thing is, by default, when you use GitHub hosted runners, right, so each job will get its own VM kind of thing in a clean state. All right, so let's assume you have job 1 and you have job 2. Okay, so and these two jobs are dependent on each other. So now once the job 1 execution is completed, now and then your job 2 execution starts, this job 2 will start in a clean state. So whatever the earlier data which was created by job 1 is not accessible by job 2. All right, that's how it works. And also the steps are there, right, within a job. When you have multiple steps, you can assume that they will run in the same machine. So basically at step level you have accessibility for the storage, okay, of that specific respective job. All right, and one more thing is one of the limitation of this GitHub hosted runner is so basically, let's assume you are running a test cases or something on your local or any different environment. It works perfectly fine there. Okay, but when you push it into GitHub and then from there when you try to run the same job, it might not work due to resource limitations, because this is a resource, which GitHub will give it to us. So if the utilization exceeds more than this specific resources, right, then obviously you will get errors. Okay, that is something which you will have to take care of. But the second option is self-hosted agent. Self-hosted agent means you are going to create the virtual machine infrastructure, and then you are going to maintain that infra with respect to OS patching, software updates, security updates. Everything will be taken care by you. All right, but here the advantage is, like you can scale in and scale out based on your requirement. You can bring these machines under an auto scaling group of your own choice, and you can still handle it. Okay, and it gives us more control and customization. Let's assume you are working in an enterprise level project and you have basically a licensed software or something, okay, which you want to run within your CI/CD pipeline. So those things actually you can very easily, in a secured way, you can do it in self-hosted agents. Okay, that is the advantage of it. And with respect to self-hosted agents, you can run pretty much on any operating systems for now. Okay, as per my knowledge, there is no, limitations in that area. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. And also these self-hosted agents, you can add it at repository level, organization level or enterprise level. Okay, and in this specific scenario, right, it's not necessary that we will run at clean instances or clean state every time. All right, so basically your data, whatever is there inside that virtual machine, when you run, right, it will have accessibility for that specific data. That is one of the major advantage, I would say. All right, so this is all about this workflow runners. In the upcoming video, now quickly let's try to do a hands-on session to see like how exactly these runners works, all those things. Okay, so that you will get some good experience. All right, now let's try to do a hands-on practice and see how this workflow runners works. So you can create a file called a 03-buildingblocks.yaml, and then what should be the name? Name is 03 hyphen flow runners. Okay, it is workflow. Okay, workflow runners, and then this should run on. See, from now onwards, let's make sure that we'll go with this workflow dispatch event because we want to trigger it manually. All right, so that always every time when you push, it will keep triggering. So it's not really necessary. That's the reason. Workflow dispatch, and after that, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to create jobs. Okay, inside jobs, we need to create a give a name, right? So first we will test for Ubuntu. This Ubuntu. Fun. Let's keep the name like this. And then to run on a specific operating system, what we are supposed to do? It is runs on Ubuntu. So the 18, 20, 22, these are the three versions are there, but we will go with latest tag always. Okay, but in your organization and in your companies, you can select it based on your project requirements. All right, and then steps. Under steps, we need a name, step name, and it should be show OS, the name of the steps. And now I need to run. Okay, so run, what will run do? If you want to run any commands, you can use this. So now if I want to run multiple commands, then what am I supposed to use? Inline character. This is this pipe symbol. All right, and then the next step is echo. So what should we echo? This job is running on Ubuntu OS. Okay, and let's try to print it as well. So echo space runner OS is to. So this is the environment variable which is there inside this specific Ubuntu latest image, and when we run it, right, so basically it will print Ubuntu as a operating system. So let's quickly try to test it out. All right. So to test it out, what are we supposed to do? Terminal git add dot git commit hyphen m. This is 03 hyphen 03 hyphen hyphen block, and this is for Ubuntu runner. All right, let's push it. Okay, done. So let's quickly try to go to our actions, and Yes. Inside actions, do you see here 03 workflow runners are there? So basically it is a workflow dispatch is the event to trigger, which means we will have to run this manually. Let's run this workflow. Okay, that's triggered an event. Move on to echo. So let's come here, show OS. And if you see here, the running OS is Linux. Okay, and this is running on Ubuntu. Okay, yeah. So this is something which we have successfully executed. So now let's go and try to do it for other operating systems. What is the next operating system? It is Windows. So Windows hyphen echo. All right. Under this will runs on Windows latest, and then under this we need steps. Under steps, name should be all right. Show OS, and then once you get this one right, so now what we will do is we will run and pipe symbol inline character. So let me try to copy these two things. All right, this should run on Windows. Okay, so let's try to see what happens now. Git add dot git commit hyphen m runner git push. Yeah, done. This is pushed. Let's try to go back to actions. We have workflow runner. Let's try to run this again. Run workflow. Triggered actions. Workflow runners. Let's try to go and see what happens here. Yeah, both the jobs are done. So in Linux job, you have this runner OS Linux, and in Windows job, if you see, the runner OS is empty. Why is that? So basically what has happened is this is a run environment variable. Okay. So the environment variable at the default shell of Windows is always different. It would be PowerShell or something, right? But we need shell to be the default. I mean, like the bash, the Linux shell terminal to be the default shell, or bash to be the default shell for us to get this runner OS as an environment variable. Okay. So because of that, basically it is not able to display. So therefore, what we are supposed to do is when you are working with the Windows operating systems, right, you should specifically mention the shell that you want to use. Okay. So for that, you have steps, you have name of the steps. Under name of the steps, what we will do is we will give shell and the shell is bash. All right. So now let me try to add dot commit -m git push. Okay. Let me try to push this. And let's come here again, go to actions, workflow runners, and let's try to trigger it. Run workflow. All right. Actions. Come here. It's in queue. Let's directly go to Windows. It will take a second. Yeah. So now this specific action is working properly. The running on OS is Windows. So if you come here, right, and if you try to expand this operating system section, all these things, right, here you will be able to see in the setup job what version of Windows Server it is using and the running image name. There, if you see, there is something called as include software here. All you have to do is just come click here. Okay, when you come and click here, right, in that specific image, whatever GitHub Actions is speaking, right, it will try to show you what are the default dependencies or default software packages which will be installed in that specific image. So all these things will be there here. For example, it has Go. If you see here, Bash with specific version of Bash, PHP, Python, Chocolatey, 7-zip, JQ, all these things are there here. So this is a very good reference document for you to understand, like for example, like what are the packages that is already there in the runner that you are basically triggering it. That's it for this specific video, guys. So if you want, you can go ahead and test for Mac OS. I will leave it for you. Okay. But in real time, most of the time you'll be using Ubuntu and Windows, which is Linux and Windows. Okay. So if you like this efforts and video, please make sure that you will subscribe to our channel and also like this video. If you have any doubts, again, please do not hesitate to post in comment section. We will definitely respond to you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.